Good morning, y'all. We just wanted to do a follow up video to our introduction to healing. And in this video, we just want to give y'all 4 steps to aid you in your healing process to kind of give you an outline of the different phases and the different steps to take when you're journaling on this healing process, either by yourself or with a professional.
Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and get right in. The first step that you will take in your healing journey is openness. I can't express to you how important openness is, and throughout this whole process, continuously, even as you go on to step 2, 3, and 4, you have to remain open. And what that may look like is you're going to have to stretch your mind. So you're going to have to start taking in a new way of being, new beliefs. It's going to be some things that's going to come up that's very ugly, and you're going to have to accept it. Whether it be on your behalf, the part you may have played in certain things that you have experienced, or whether it be some feelings that come up that's quite embarrassing, like you may feel insecure about certain things. You may have to realize that maybe you're dealing with some loneliness or some shame that you may have experienced. You just have to be open to whatever comes up. You're going to have to be
Mm-hmm.
open to some really ugly truth, but you have to accept it. It is so crucial to your healing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, new ideas, new way of being is going to transform you completely. So you have to be open to what is going to come your way, and a new outlook is you're going to have to do things differently than once you once were. So you have to be open to the role, also the role that you play
Mm-hmm.
in your healing journey, because you're going to be an active participant. You're going to be the only participant. So you have to be open to the part that you play. It's not about the other person who played a part in your trauma or your experiences. It's about you and your healing. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
be open to the role that you play in
Mm-hmm.
your healing.
Yes. And a part of that would be being brutally honest
Mm-hmm.
with yourself.
Yes.
Um, Too many times we want to justify what we did, we want to justify what we said, we want to justify how we felt, or we want to sugarcoat things and downplay things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not going to aid you in healing and letting go of that past pains or hurts or whatever it is that you may be trying to heal from. You have to be brutally honest with yourself, and we don't want to acknowledge those ugly parts of us.
Mm-hmm.
We're always told to just be in the light. We've
Mm-hmm.
been taught and trained that darkness is bad, and
Mm-hmm.
but in order to get to the light, you have to spend time in the darkness.
Oh yeah, you got
You
to
have
go
to
through it to
yeah,
get through it.
you have to travel through those waters,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to be brutally honest. So if
Absolutely.
you're insecure, say you're insecure.
Yeah.
I'm totally insecure about everything.
If you envious, say I was envious.
I'm envious. I'm jealous as hell.
Yeah. If
I'm super
okay.
jealous. You can't go into the healing process trying to lie and deny these things. You have to shine light on these things because it breaks down that energy
Mm-hmm.
that is built up around that thought or
Yeah.
that feeling
Oh
or
yes.
that situation.
You completely get your power back.
You do.
Completely.
You do.
Completely.
So it's nothing wrong or bad with admitting your faults or your ugliness
Mm-hmm.
or your darkness. It's a must.
Mm-hmm.
So that also goes into remaining open and being open with yourself and what comes up
Mm-hmm.
for you.
Absolutely.
So that would lead us into
Number 2.
number 2, which is self reflection and introspection, which basically means solitude.
Mm-hmm.
Spending time with yourself. When you begin to be open and those things begin to come up, you then want to take time for yourself to have time to maybe journal,
Mm-hmm.
write it out on paper,
Mm-hmm.
what it is that's coming up for you. You want to have that space and time for yourself to question those things
Mm-hmm.
that are coming up for you to figure out why you're feeling like this or what thoughts or current beliefs that you had around this that made you feel this way or react this way or about this past situation.
Yeah.
You really just want to sit in that
Yeah.
with yourself, and you can be as creative as you want
Mm-hmm.
during that time. You Poetry, Some people might
Meditation.
meditation, prayer, like all of that
Yeah,
goes into
creative
it.
outlets to express what you're feeling and what you're going through at that time. Also, remember all the while being open, because let me tell you, self reflection, you're going to journey back in time. You're going to go back to that place where you experienced that trauma, or you're going to go back to that time when you felt this way, and you're going to go back to that very moment, and you're probably going to cry, you're going to hurt, you're going to be angry, and you're going to feel like you felt when you first experienced that trauma.
Yes.
And it's you
Yes.
have to be open. Have to be
And
open.
let that come out.
Let it come out. Oh,
We're
yes.
taught to, don't you cry, bottle it up, be strong, don't do this.
Scream.
Scream, cry,
Curse.
yell, curse,
Yes.
throw something. Don't hit nobody.
Yep, don't
Like
hit
if you
nobody.
got some space
Don't
to
hit
throw
nobody.
something or to bang a bat against a tree or
Yes.
something, that is releasing
Let that
that
shit
energy.
out.
It is breaking up that old energetic pattern within you. So do not hold it in. Do not say, oh, I feel like I'm about to cry, or I feel like I'm getting mad. Let me, because that just pushes it back.
Because
down.
what happens is when you bottle it up and you keep that in, it shows up unexpectedly at the worst time and you're triggered. That's what a trigger is. That is unhealed emotions, unfilled pain. So what you have to do is let it out, because let me tell you right now, it will show up at the most inconvenient time in your life. You got a new boyfriend, you love him so much, and something happens within the relationship and you completely lose it. And that's a trigger, and it showed up at the worst time possible. So let it out. Let it out.
Please let it out. Do not hold it in.
No, don't.
Yeah, and as she said, as far as the journaling back in time, that's very important. Don't think that the way you are and the way you react just happened yesterday, or because of a situation that just happened last month, or because of this current situation. Things could stem way back from our childhood
Yes.
that we don't remember, or that another situation that we just pushed in the back of our minds, and you don't realize how much that is affecting you. So be open to traveling as far back as you can. How long have you been feeling this emotion? How long have you been going through this situation?
Yeah.
You know, go back
As far as you can.
as far as you can possibly remember, and examine all parts,
Yeah.
all people.
Yep. All right. So number 3, we have letting go. Let it go. It's very simple, and I know some people may say, how can you expect me to let go of what my mother did to me? Or how can you expect me to let go of what my parents did, or what my father did to me, or what my sister did? How can I just let go of the betrayal that I experienced? Let it go. We
do
make
have a
things
choice.
way more difficult than what it really is. Life isn't as hard as the stories that you tell yourself. Let me tell you, letting it go is not as difficult as we make it seem. It's only as difficult as the story that we have told ourselves, that we have begun to believe.
That.
So, and
That part.
saying that, I will say this: let it go. Say, I choose to let this go. I experienced this betrayal. I was hurt behind it. I felt ashamed about it. And I choose to let this go. Say it out loud.
Yes.
Declare it, because declaration out loud, let me tell you the power of words. And this is a whole nother thing, but there is power in the words that you use. And if you have to say it every day until you begin to feel it, do that. You're not going to feel it immediately, but you'll be surprised at what is lingering out in the universe, because you have decided to say, I let this go.
Yes.
You regain your power back.
Yes.
And also, it is already out there lingering. And so the forces are working with you to let it go. And the more you become, working that muscle, the more that you begin to feel like, I don't feel that way anymore. You let it go. So every day, make a conscious decision to declare that you let it go. Once you begin to feel all the feelings surrounded by this event, and you are now feel that you're ready to let it go, declare it out loud.
Yes.
I let it go.
Yes. It's one of those things that, like she said, you may feel like it's just that simple. It really is that simple. And I just want to touch base again on what you said about the stories we tell ourselves. That's usually all that is you're clinging to this story
Yeah.
that you continuously tell yourself and you justify to yourself. It's just a story. It's just a part of your life, of a situation or something that happened. It's no longer your current reality.
Absolutely.
It's something in the past that you're
Absolutely.
still holding on to. You can let that story go
Yeah.
and start to create a new story
Yep.
for yourself.
And another thing, I love letting go. Cause
Yeah, it's my new favorite
it's
thing.
my new favorite thing. It makes life so simple, and that's why I say that life can really be as simple as the stories that you tell yourself. Because now I'm getting really good at letting things go, and I'm just letting anything go. My kid don't want to brush his teeth this morning. I let it go. Fine. You deal with that.
That's your choice.
It makes your life so much more simple. I don't feel conflicted inside with fighting back and forth with you.
Yes.
But when we say letting it go, and I know some things are really brutal, things are really traumatic. We experience some of the worst things and very hard to deal with. But it happened, and it's nothing that you can do about it because it has happened. Yeah. And it's absolutely nothing that you can do with that experience but heal from it. Yes. It's nothing that you can do with what has happened
or continue to hurt from it.
You can continue to hurt. You can continue to bottle it up and wait for it to show up unexpectedly, or you can heal from it and grow from it and learn and move on and let it go and be free and turn it into your power.
Yes. And we understand that, there's a lot of traumatic things out there, and there may be some things you just feel like you can't handle on your own, which is fine. Yes. And that's why there's so many professionals out here that's willing to assist you and help you through your journey. I just say that if you are going to see a therapist or a psychologist, anything like that, I personally will prefer a holistic practitioner.
Me too.
Because most of the time they just want to pump you on drugs that just makes things worse. So if anyone is considering to go see a therapist, psychologist, anything like that, and the most they can do
your research
is give you drugs to take,
you're not in the right place.
You're not in the right place. You're not in the right place.
Also, we're saying this very quickly, but it does take time. You may be in step 1 or step 2 for months. And that is okay. That is absolutely okay.
Or a complete year.
These however long you
steps.
need. Yeah.
Yes. People heal and do things differently. Well, some person may jump through their healing process in a couple months. Another person, it might take them a year, 2 years. It depends on you and how open you are to the process and how deep your hurts and pains may run. So these are just the steps. That don't mean you're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then
it's
done.
Probably not gonna go.
And you're going to revisit the steps.
Oh yes,
that's what heal is, a continuous journey. So you may jump to letting go, and then something else comes up and trigger you. Then you gotta go back to step 2, self-reflection, to examine what's going on here, and then let that go. So it's like a back and forth, continuous journey. So don't think that it's just simple and it's going to happen. Then next week I'm healed.
It's not gonna go that way.
No way. And you know what I want to touch on just real quick? I know it's a different subject, but when you was talking about the whole kids thing, I just want to say that even though they're little people, they are people.
Yes.
And
they are.
They do have their own minds.
Oh yeah, and they came here to do something completely.
They came here to do something completely different, and a lot of times we want to control them so much, and maybe if we would just let them have a little more freedom as children to experience things and make their own choices, we won't have so many messed up adults, because you want to wait till adulthood to say, okay, now you're grown, go on out here and live. But they probably could have learned a lot of those lessons as children. So
we need to make another video about that.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, it is. And I'm going to just let y'all know, since I have stopped forcing my son to brush his teeth every day, he's beginning to get the message that I need to brush my teeth because I don't feel right. I ain't did it in 2 days. My mother ain't said nothing. I don't feel right about it.
Yes. So I just wanted,
letting go is openness to receive. All right, so we have number 4. Step number 4 is consistency, repetition, rituals. Yes. So important. So important.
Very, very important. This is how you turn your pain into your power.
Yes.
And a ritual is basically just a sacred ceremony. And the beauty of it is you get to personalize it however you shall. What may work for one may not work for the other. You can do, it's your personal ritual. It's your personal ceremony to yourself. So, your ritual could include meditation. Your ritual
My
could
favorite.
include prayer. It definitely should include affirmations.
Absolutely.
Coming up with new affirmations for yourself that fits your new reality that you're trying to create, your
Oh,
healed
yes.
reality,
Mm-hmm.
and not your past pains.
Mm-hmm.
So it can include music. It could include nature, going out. It could include reading books.
I do all those things.
Yeah.
All of them.
You can change it up
Oh,
however you
yes.
want. The more you grow, your rituals will change.
Mm-hmm.
It can include
Yeah.
using candles and, you know, incense or
This is
creating
the best
smell.
part of it because you're actually not even operating out of step 1, 2, and 3 anymore because you're not coming from a place of betrayal and you're not coming from a place of lower vibrations. You are now free to be creative as you want to be, that new self. You're in a new state of being. So now you're coming from a place of joy, peace, new beginnings. So you can turn this into whatever it is that you want it to be. And that's the fun part of it. Step 4 is definitely the fun part of it.
It is. And like she said, it's the consistency. So you
Mm-hmm.
create your ritual. You don't say you just do it one day and then that's it. It's repetition is key.
Yes.
This is how we all are hardwired. This
Yes.
is how we all learn is through repetition. You learn what your name is through repetition, through your parents constantly calling you, and then you catch on like, oh, this is my name. So whenever I hear someone calling my name, I answer.
Right.
So your ritual is no different.
Yeah.
You do it every day. You speak your affirmations every day until you start to embody that new being, that new energetic imprint of being healed, of being powerful, and moving you into your new destiny. And you continuously do it until you feel complete in that area.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
until you feel like something else comes up and you go through the process again and create another ritual. But like I said, they should definitely include affirmations that are spoken out loud because your words have power. It should definitely include your new beliefs and mindsets that you're going to continue to tell yourself in your head because through the healing process, those old thoughts will still come up.
Yeah.
And it is your job to be conscious of that and to stop it as soon as it comes. Don't dwell in it because that's how you start spiraling backwards again.
Yeah.
You got to stop the thought right then, have your new belief, your new mindset, your
Replace
new thought.
it.
Yes, and replace it with that. Every time. It's repetition.
You have to get yourself to a point where healing is my number one priority every day. My new way of being is no longer my former self. I'm no longer who I once was. I'm no longer attached to the feelings. I'm no longer attached to the experience. I am now new and transformed. And every day I wake up and I'm that. Healing is my number one priority every day. I must remember. And then it'll become second nature. But you have to make healing a number one priority because you can backtrack.
Yes.
And you'll backslide before you even recognize it and realize you're back in that same lower vibration.
Yes. And definitely in the beginning, before you get to the creating ritual part, you can definitely backtrack a lot. That's why it is, if you can have a trusted professional with you,
Yeah.
it's good to have. If you feel like you can't do it on your own, because you will backtrack, because sometimes we don't even realize. That's why I say you have to be conscious of it, because by the time you realize it is too late and you probably create a whole nother situation in your life, and you're like, damn it, I did it again.
Right.
So you consciousness and awareness is big. Pay attention to what you're thinking.
Yes.
If it's not in alignment to where you're trying to go, stop it.
Your thinking can be hazardous to your healing. Remember that.
And your words.
Yes. And your words. The
And your
power
words.
of your words.
So,
Absolutely.
no longer speaking of the past. No longer speaking in view of where you're heading. That's what your new language should consist of. Not where you've been, where you're going. That's what your mindset should consist of. Not where you've been, but where you're going.
Yep. So consistency, repetition, rituals is step number 4. So important.
Yes.
So is that it? We got everything. We covered it all.
For this one, yes.
This was fun. Well, as I just want to let you guys know that we really truly love you guys, and we wish you the best on your healing journey. And you can find us at soulfulsisterspeak.weebly.com and on Facebook at Soulful Sisters Speak and on Instagram at Soulful Sister _ speak.
Yes.
So, we love you guys and we just wish you the best.
Yes, we do. Have a good day.